Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Barnabas Tone.
And this is me, your co-host, Frederick Allen Seto. And it's time for the Fans vs. ACs Challenge.
And today we have the final race in round 2 with Group 8.
Plus, since we already met both of these drivers in round 1, there's no need for a long introduction.
But just a quick recap for new viewers.
For the Scrapyard, it's the 1973 Falcon XB, driven by Armand. Plus, the 1964 Chevelle Dragster, driven by Manny the Sports Coat. Now, let's get up to the guillotine gate and get this race started.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Al, today we're in for a great race. It's brother against brother.
Wait, what? Are Armand and the Sports Coat related?
What? No, I'm not saying that. I mean, 2 members of Team Scrapyard are facing off against each other for the first time.
Oh, I thought you meant they actually were brothers. That would explain how the Sports Coat was allowed on our property. Do we know what he actually does around here?
I don't know about the other days, but today his job is to race.
Yeah, and without representation today, Team Cartoons is definitely going to face a member of the Scrapyard in the next round.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Al. The fans are at the edge of their seats waiting to watch this round. And they're in luck because the countdown is about to begin.
3, 2, 1, go!
Manny hits the wall.
Armand flips,
He recovers.
but crashes into Clunker Canyon.
Oh, Manny can't get around and he crashes too.
Wow, what a wild way to get this race started. Let's break it all down so the fans can get a closer look at all that action.
Barry, I have no idea what happened to Manny the Sports Coat here.
Agreed, Al. He came cleanly off the line and then crashed into the wall.
Wait, was that a self-block? Is he the first racer to self-Picasso himself?
If it was Al, he's not alone, because Armando takes himself out as well at the entrance of the bottleneck, and he barrel rolls all the way through.
Ha! Rolls! Because he used to drive a bread truck. Anyway, he skillfully saves it and goes into Carmine Corner on all 4 wheels.
But not skillfully enough, because even though he saves it into the turn, he loses it in Clunker Canyon by hitting that metal barrier hard.
And even though his car is out of commission, he's still able to block the track enough so Manny the Sports Coat can't get around. And the Sports Coat also wrecks into the clunkers.
Typical big brother move.
Wait, so they are brothers?
At least from 9 to 5 they are, but on the track they're bitter rivals.
Well, they might be rivals, but they ended up with the same result. 2 big fat red X's. Let's see if Manny can unruffle his Sports Coat and get a win on the board, or if Armando can bag it. Get it? Bag it? Baguette? That's a scoreboard bread joke.
That joke deserves its own big fat red X.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are back at the guillotine gate, waiting for the officials to clear the track for Heat 2. The racers are in position. The Sports Coat is on your right, and Armando is on your left.
Manny had a rough start in Heat 1. Let's hope he was able to iron it all out. Huh? Iron it all out? Because he never takes off his Sports Coat?
The only thing that will never take off is your career in comedy.
3, 2, 1, go!
What a block!
Manny all alone into the turn.
Armand recovers in reverse.
Manny takes to the sky and crosses the line.
Armand struggles through Carmine Corner. Oh, and he loses it again in the same spot in Clunker Canyon.
That was some great scrapyard action. Let's take another look.
Barry, was Manny's self-Picasso in Heat 1 a setup for this heat? Was it all a setup? It's a setup!
Typical younger brother move.
Again with that? What do you know that I don't know?
Ha! There's not enough time in the world to go through the list of things that you don't know. Moving on. After delivering that devastating Picasso block, the Sports Coat is all alone through the bottleneck and Carmine Corner.
Right. And Armand does again show off how skillful of a driver he is. Because while the Picasso would have ended the heat for anyone else, Armand was able to shift in reverse and get his car going again.
But by that time, Manny is flying through Clunker Canyon. Literally. Maybe he's trying to prove to his older brother he's all grown up and his own man, because he jumps over the wall where Armand forced him to crash in the previous heat. Maybe that sports coat is actually a flight jacket because he soars through the air, comes in for a landing, and crosses the line all alone.
Meanwhile, even though Armand got his car going again, he just can't pick up any speed. He struggles through Carmine Corner and unfortunately crashes in the same exact spot as Heat 1.
Right, Al, and as a result, the sports coat literally jumps into the lead for the first win of this race.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are back at the guillotine gate for what could be the final heat.
That's right. Armand needs a win here. Let's hope he can rise to the occasion. Huh? That's a double. Needs, rise, 2 bread jokes for the price of 1.
And that's still way too much to pay for them.
Hey!
Quiet, Al. The countdown is starting. Good luck, gentlemen.
3, 2, 1, go!
A crash in the bottleneck!
Armand hard into the camera tower.
Manny crashes into Armand!
This one is all over. Emergency cutoff shuts off both cars. Let's see what went wrong.
Barry, I thought this one was gonna be clean. After all the Picasso blocks, both racers go wide on the downhill.
But again, Armand loses it in the bottleneck. He's had trouble with that transition this whole race.
And while trying to avoid all that auto somersaulting, Manny crashes hard into the exit barrier of the bottleneck.
But that's nothing compared to Armand's crash. Looking like he was launched out of a cannon, he comes soaring into Carmine Corner and slams hard into the camera tower.
You can even see how the impact shook the shot while it was filming Manny's car. And the sports coat must have sustained some damage because he can't steer around Armand and ends up rear-ending him.
And it was a big enough impact that both cars' emergency shutoffs kicked in.
And conveniently right next to the safety station. I've saved a ton of fuel on this tournament. I haven't had to get the old yellow jacket in the air once. What I'm not making in overtime, I'm saving in gas prices. Thanks for being team players, boys.
And speaking of team players, with the sports coat's win in Heat 2, he is the only player on the Scrapyard team that will be moving on to the next round, where he'll face Sassy V and Team Cartoon's last chance at victory in the semifinal Race 2.
But before then, we'll see if an artist can beat a stockbroker in semifinal Race 1.
Until then, this is Barnabas Tone saying thank you and good night.
And I'm Frederick Allen Seto, saying thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join us again back here at the Scrapyard, but until then, thank you all for watching. If you haven't done so, give us a like, and please subscribe to the Scrapyard so you never miss a race.
And follow us on Instagram and Facebook for even more Scrapyard Diecast racing action. So please join us next time for the next installment of...